Have you ever found yourself at the end of a long day, perhaps staring blankly at a menu, unable to pick a dinner, or maybe making an impulse purchase you later regretted? Perhaps you promised yourself you'd tackle that tricky email, only to push it off until tomorrow, even though you had the time? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and it's not a sign of weakness or a lack of discipline. More likely, you've experienced what psychologists call decision fatigue. It's a fascinating phenomenon that helps explain why our brains, after a day of countless choices, seem to get worse at making sound ones as evening approaches. Today, we're going to explore decision fatigue, what it is, why it happens, and most importantly, what we can do about it to reclaim our mental energy and make better choices throughout the entire day. So, what exactly is decision fatigue? Imagine your capacity for making good decisions like a finite resource, a tank of fuel that gradually depletes throughout the day. Every choice, big or small, draws a little bit from that tank, from deciding what to wear, to what to eat for breakfast, to navigating complex work problems, to choosing which route to take home. Each one takes a toll. Decision fatigue describes the diminishing quality of these choices as this mental resource runs low. It means that after a prolonged period of making decisions, your brain simply isn't as good at it anymore. You might notice yourself feeling a distinct brain fog, a general tiredness that isn't just physical, but mental. This decline often leads to cognitive shortcuts, where instead of carefully weighing pros and cons, your brain opts for the easiest available choice, or sometimes no choice at all, leading to procrastination. For decades, researchers have been curious about this mental weariness. A foundational concept for understanding decision fatigue came from social psychologist Roy F. Baumeister, who formalized the idea of ego depletion. This theory posited that self-control and decision-making draw from a shared, limited mental resource, much like a muscle tiring after strenuous exercise. While the exact neurological mechanisms are still actively debated and refined, with early hypotheses about glucose depletion being questioned and explored further, the core idea that our mental energy for making sound choices is not limitless holds significant practical weight. But why does this matter for your daily life? The consequences of decision fatigue are far-reaching and can impact everything from your productivity to your wallet and even your mood. When your decision tank is running on empty, you might find your judgment impaired, leading to those impulse buys you regret later, or perhaps agreeing to things you wouldn't normally. You might notice yourself procrastinating more, putting off important but difficult decisions until tomorrow because your brain simply can't face them. Irritability can increase, and you might find yourself opting for the path of least resistance, even if it's not the optimal one. Think about how many times you've ordered takeout because deciding what to cook felt like too much effort, or just said yes to something you wanted to say no to, just to end the mental deliberation. Adding to this challenge is what's known as choice overload. Have you ever stood in the grocery aisle, overwhelmed by the sheer number of options for a simple item like yogurt or cereal? Too many choices, ironically, don't always empower us. They can paralyze us, exacerbating decision fatigue and making it even harder to make a selection. This constant barrage of options in our modern world makes managing decision fatigue more critical than ever.
The good news is that recognizing decision fatigue is the first step towards managing it. There are many practical strategies we can employ to conserve our mental energy and make better choices when it truly matters. One of the most effective strategies is automation. Think about routine decisions that don't need your full mental bandwidth. For instance, meal planning for the week ahead means you don't have to decide what to cook every single night. Setting up automatic bill payments ensures those financial decisions are handled without daily thought. Establishing clear morning routines for getting ready, or even what to wear, can save significant mental energy. You might have heard about prominent figures like former President Barack Obama or Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, who famously wears similar outfits every day. This isn't about a lack of style, it's a conscious strategy to eliminate a trivial decision and conserve their mental energy for the truly critical choices they face throughout their day. This simple habit highlights a powerful principle: reduce the number of choices you have to make. Another key strategy is to prioritize important decisions for earlier in the day. When your mental tank is full and fresh, that's the time to tackle the complex work problem, have that difficult conversation, or plan your next big project. By doing so, you leverage your brain's peak performance before fatigue sets in. Streamlining choices is also vital. Can you reduce the number of options you present yourself with? If you're struggling with dinner, instead of scrolling through endless recipes, narrow it down to 2 or 3 cuisine types you enjoy. When shopping, try to identify your needs before being overwhelmed by the shelves. Sometimes setting deadlines for decisions can also help, forcing your brain to commit before too much deliberation drains you. And where possible, delegating decisions to others can be incredibly effective, especially in team settings or family life. Now, it's important to acknowledge that the scientific understanding of decision fatigue, particularly its underlying mechanisms, is an area of ongoing research and debate. The replication crisis in psychology has seen some studies struggle to consistently reproduce the ego depletion effect, raising important questions and encouraging scientists to look deeper. Some researchers propose that what we experience as decision fatigue might also involve shifts in motivation, attention, or even mood, rather than a purely physiological resource depletion. However, what is undeniable is the subjective experience reported by countless individuals, that feeling of being mentally drained by choices, and the practical effectiveness of strategies designed to mitigate it. While decision fatigue is not a diagnosable medical condition, chronic decision overload can certainly contribute to symptoms resembling burnout, anxiety, or general mental exhaustion. So, where does this leave us? The future of understanding decision fatigue involves continued scientific investigation to clarify these mechanisms, refining our theoretical frameworks, and exploring how factors like sleep timing, duration, and overall mental health interact with our decision-making capacity. It's an exciting field that promises even deeper insights into how our brains work and how we can best support them. For now, the takeaway is clear. Our brains are powerful, but they have limits. By understanding decision fatigue, we gain a crucial tool for self-awareness and self-care. It's about being strategic with your mental energy, not just your time.
So, try automating those small, routine choices. Tackle your most important decisions early in the day. Simplify your options wherever you can. These aren't just productivity hacks, they're acts of kindness to your brain. By doing so, you'll likely find yourself making clearer, more confident decisions throughout the day, feeling less strained by evening, and living a more intentional, less reactive life. Here's to making better decisions, even at night.